Tonight, the federal government concedes it was given wrong information about a detainee death on Manus Island.
Information can be patchy and it is rarely perfect on those first occasions.
The convicted pedophile who sparked the DeBell Royal Commission accused of more child sex offences. The West warns Russia against intervening in Ukraine. And Jason's day in Arizona to bag the biggest win of his career. Good evening, Jessica Harmsen with ABC News South Australia. Scott Morrison is standing his ground amid calls for his resignation and an accusation that he's responsible for an asylum seeker's death. The Immigration Minister has faced questions in Parliament over when he found out the facts on last week's Manus Island detention centre riots. But the man Tony Abbott picked because he's not a wimp on border protection insists he's been upfront. Political correspondent Mark Simpkin.
We're not going...
News, Canberra.
The detention centre riot has unsettled the locals on Manus Island. Regarded as one of the more peaceful provinces in Papua New Guinea, people there say authorities still haven't told them exactly what happened. Liam.
Adelaide.
Ukraine is at risk of becoming the front line in a new Cold War. The United States and Britain are warning Russia to keep its troops out of the country, and they're encouraging Ukraine to remain united as those in power move to restore order. Europe correspondent Philip Williams is in Kiev, and a warning: this report contains disturbing images.
With Tom Fedorovich, ABC News, the Riverland.
The oil and gas company Beach Energy has posted a record first-half net profit of $161 million. The company explores in the Cooper Basin in the state's far northeast and is drilling for gas in the southeast. Its half-year profit to December is nearly 270% higher than the corresponding period for the previous year. Sales revenue has also increased by 62%. Checking finance now, and shares in Transfield Services surged today after the company won the contract to take over management of the Manus Island Detention Centre. But the broader share market was steady today and the Australian dollar eased slightly. Here's Alan Kohler.
Transfield's shares spiked 25%, adding $100 million due over the next few years if nothing changes. And that's why they were so keen to put a target on changing that line. And that's finance.
Checking sport now, and a week ago South Africa was looking at how it might recover after a first test thrashing. Tonight the boots on the other foot after Australia crumbled to a demoralising defeat in Port Elizabeth. Chris Rogers and David Warner put on a century opening stand before Dale Steyn triggered a post-tee collapse for the Proteas to level the series with one test to play. John Hayes-Bell reports.
This is how the nightmare ended.
Of what has been an expensive but successful campaign. Letitia Lemke, ABC News.
It's the mystery of the missing mango, with the big mango at Bowen in North Queensland vanishing during the night. Staff at the local Tourist Information Centre say they were shocked to find the 10-tonne attraction had been unbolted and removed. CCTV footage shows heavy machinery being used just before dawn to take the giant fruit. Police say they haven't received an official complaint and aren't investigating the unusual theft at this stage. Time to check all the weather details now, and tonight's photograph of sunset at Shardo Park was sent to us by local David Briggs. It reached 30.1 degrees in Adelaide today at 10 minutes to 3 this afternoon. There was an overnight low of 13.1. Around the state, Maree had a top temperature of 37 degrees. It reached 33 in Coober Pedy and Port Augusta and 26 degrees in Mount Gambier. Further afield, there were showers in Townsville. It was mostly fine elsewhere though. Brisbane had a top of 29, 26 degrees in Sydney, 25 for Melbourne and cloudy in Darwin and the Alice. Onto the satellite picture, and thick cloud associated with the tropical low is triggering heavy rain and storms about the western Gulf of Carpentaria. Patchy cloud is also bringing showers and storms from the south of the Northern Territory into western New South Wales. A broad trough stretching from the NT to Victoria will also generate more showers and storms tomorrow, and a high will bring a few showers to the eastern seaboard. Around the country, possible showers in Brisbane, Hobart, Melbourne and Alice Springs. Late thunder forecast for Darwin. 27 degrees for Sydney tomorrow, 31 degrees in the national capital, 32 and a sunny day forecast for Perth. Back to South Australia, mostly fine conditions across the north of our state tomorrow. 35 degrees in Coober Pedy and Roxby Downs, 23 degrees forecast in Ceduna and a top of 29 for Port Pirie. It should be slightly cooler further south, 27 degrees and sunny in Clare, 26 for Keith and Narracourt and 25 the forecast top for Coonawarra. The UV index will be very high to extreme right across the state tomorrow. And possible early morning fog in Adelaide, clearing to a mostly sunny day. We can expect a top of 26 degrees after a low tonight of 15. The sun will rise at 2 minutes to 7 and set at 7:59. On local waters, winds south to southwesterly reaching 15 knots and seas around 1 metre. A mostly fine week ahead, temperatures hovering in the mid to high 20s, 24 and partly cloudy on Wednesday, sunny Thursday, Friday and Saturday, 28 degrees on Sunday and 29 degrees this time next week. Now recapping tonight's main stories. Immigration Minister Scott Morrison resists calls for his resignation amid questions about when he found out new details of a detainee death on Manus Island. And the convicted pedophile who sparked the state's DeBell Royal Commission is accused of more child sex offences. And that's all from the Adelaide newsroom for the moment. 7:30's up next and I'll have more local news in an hour. Bye for now.